1 out of every 4 animal species humans have named is a beetle. Not 1 out of every 4 insects, 1 out of every 4 animals. If every known mammal, bird, reptile, fish, spider, worm, and insect lined up in a single parade, every 4th body would wear beetle armor. But beetles did not win Earth because they are indestructible. Some of the most successful beetles gave the armor up. The real answer begins with 2 wings folded under a shell, a flower trying not to be eaten, and a forest in British Columbia turning red. A beetle looks sealed. That is the first trick. The front wings have hardened into 2 curved covers called elytra. Under them, the real wings fold away like thin paper fans. A beetle can crawl through bark, soil, dung, grain, rotting fruit, dead animals, and the wooden frame of a house without shredding the machinery that lets it fly. Most flying insects carry their wings like exposed glass. Beetles carry theirs in a case. 300 million years ago, that case opened the world. Not because it made beetles invincible, not because it made them beautiful, because it let them enter places where wings should not survive. The rest of the animal kingdom kept finding walls. Beetles found cracks. Then the flowers arrived. It is the Cretaceous period. Forests are changing. New plants push into the world with petals, seeds, fruits, and leaves packed with chemical defenses. A plant grows a bitter toxin. A beetle lineage starts to digest it. A plant seals a seed in a harder shell. A beetle grows better jaws. A plant changes its leaf. A beetle follows. This is not a battle with one winner. This is a machine for making species. A plant invents a lock, a beetle grows the key again. The time humans start naming the natural world, beetles have become specialists in almost every kind of solid organic matter Earth produces. Wood, roots, seeds, fungi, carrion, dung, leaves, stored grain, tree bark, other insects. There are beetles that farm corpses. There are beetles that navigate by the Milky Way. There are beetles that fire boiling chemicals from their bodies. There are beetles that live inside the food humans store for winter and wait longer than humans expect anything small to wait. So when people ask why beetles are the most successful animals on Earth, they often picture armor. The armor matters, but the armor is only the door. The real story is what beetles did after they walked through it. It is summer in central British Columbia. A survey plane moves over lodgepole pine forest. Below, the trees should form an endless dark green skin over the mountains. Instead, the pilot sees red, not autumn red, death red. Clusters of pine have changed color, as if someone touched the forest with a hot iron. The needles still cling to the branches, but the trees have already lost the argument happening beneath the bark. The first maps show stains. Nobody sees the scale yet. The mountain pine beetle belongs in these forests. It has lived here for thousands of years. In normal years, it kills weak trees. It recycles old wood. Cold winters crush its numbers. The forest absorbs loss and keeps moving. This is the old deal. The beetle takes some trees. The winter takes some beetles. The forest survives both. Then the deal breaks. The mountain pine beetle is about the size of a grain of rice, dark brown, hard sun-shelled, easy to miss. If one landed on your sleeve, you might brush it away and forget it before it hit the ground. A female lands on a pine and chews through the bark. The tree answers with resin. Sticky pitch floods the wound. A healthy pine can drown a few attackers in amber-colored beads. A few beetles lose. A swarm wins. The female releases a chemical signal. More beetles arrive. They bore into the living layer under the bark, the phloem, where the tree moves sugar. Each female carves a tunnel and lays eggs along it. The larvae hatch and chew sideways. Under the bark, the tree begins to look like a map drawn by hunger. But the tunnels do not kill it first. The fungus does. Every mountain pine beetle carries blue-stained fungus. As it chews, it plants that fungus inside the tree's water system. The fungus spreads through the sapwood and blocks the flow from roots to crown. The pine dries while standing upright. The needles turn red, then gray, then they fall. The forest did not die because of fire. It did not die because of axes. It died because a beetle carried a fungus through a door the tree could not close. 1997, the red patches grow. 1999, they touch. 2002, they cross 1 million hectares. The province fights back. Crews cut infested trees. Planes map the outbreak. Mills rush dead timber into saws before rot steals the value. Governments put money into control. Scientists build models from a century of outbreaks. The models have one quiet assumption. Winter will come. The old cold will drive temperatures low enough, long enough, to kill the larvae under bark. That is how the cycle ends. That is how the forest resets. The winter comes. Not cold enough. By 2005, the beetle reaches Alberta. It crosses the Rocky Mountains. For generations, people treated the Rockies like a wall, a natural barrier, a line the beetle would not pass. The beetle passes. That is the head fake inside the hold disaster. The beetle did not become a monster overnight. It did not learn a new spell. It kept doing the ancient thing it had always done. The world around it changed. Warmer winters let more larvae survive. Drought weakened trees. Dense forests gave the beetle more hosts packed together. A local outbreak became a continental event. The beetle was the match. The climate stacked the wood. British Columbia projected $57.37 billion in cumulative GDP loss from the outbreak between 2009 and 2054. The beetle killed 58% of the province's merchantable pine. 40,000 forest sector jobs disappeared. And the animal at the center still weighed less than a paperclip. If you buy lumber, breathe wildfire smoke, hike through a dead stand, or live in a town whose budget depends on trees, this story has already crossed into your life. That is one beetle. There are 400,000 known species behind it. On a salt flat in Australia, a tiger beetle locks onto prey and runs. It reaches 125 body lengths per second. If a human moved at that relative speed, he would run hundreds of miles per hour. Then the beetle's vision fails. Its eyes cannot gather light fast enough. The world smears into motion. The hunter goes blind at the exact moment it needs sight most. So it runs, stops, sees, runs, stops, sees. Its stiff antennae strike obstacles before its face does. The beetle hunts by crashing into the future. Speed gave it power. Speed stole its eyes. In western North America, another beetle chose the opposite bargain. The diabolical ironclad beetle cannot fly. Its wing cases have fused shut. It walks through dry woodlands like a living seed. Put pressure on it, and it does not crack. Its back joins along seams shaped like interlocking puzzle pieces. Under crushing force, the layers peel apart in a controlled way and spread the energy through the shell. 149 newtons. About 39,000 times its own body weight. A human version would survive millions of pounds pressing down without the skeleton breaking. It gained a fortress. It lost the sky. A Bombardier beetle makes another deal. Inside its abdomen it stores chemicals that would make a poor life choice for almost any animal. Hydroquinone and hydrogen peroxide. When a predator grabs it, the beetle squeezes those chemicals into a chamber lined with enzymes. The mixture reacts. Heat rises to 100 degrees Celsius, the boiling point of water. Pressure builds. Then the beetle fires. The spray comes out in pulses, like a tiny chemical engine, so the reaction chamber can cool between blasts. A frog expects a bite of protein. It receives boiling poison in the mouth. A click beetle makes a spring out of its own body. When it gets trapped on its back, it bends, locks a latch in its thorax, and stores energy in the shell. Then the latch slips. The body snaps. The beetle launches upward at 380 times the force of gravity. No legs, no aim, just a violent little answer to being upside down. In South Africa, a dung beetle climbs onto its ball and turns in place beneath the night sky. Scientists later placed these beetles in planetariums and changed the stars above them. On moonless nights, some still roll straight, using the pale stripe of the Milky Way. A beetle pushes dung by galaxy light. The ancient Egyptians noticed something, long before modern instruments proved the beetle's skill. They watched scarabs roll balls across the sand and saw an echo of the sun crossing the sky. They carved scarabs into amulets, they stamped them onto seals, they buried them with the dead. They were wrong about the sun. They were right to stare at the beetle. It was doing something worth noticing. You can stand in a museum today and look at a scarab charm behind glass. A tiny dung roller became a symbol of rebirth for one of the most powerful civilizations in history. That is not because beetles are cute. It is because they keep entering the human imagination through the side door. They enter human economies the same way. The copra beetle lives in stored grain. Its larvae can slow their lives down and wait through hunger. Some survive years without food. They tolerate dryness and cold that should end them. From 1953 to 1966, the United States fought to eradicate copra beetles from stored products. 13 years, $138 million for one beetle. The emerald ash borer came to North America and found ash trees with no history of defending against it. Its larvae chew winding tunnels through the inner bark. Those tunnels cut off the tree's transport system. A healthy-looking ash can stand on a city street while the living lines inside it fail. In Ohio alone, removal and replacement costs climb toward $7.6 billion. The tree looks present. The tree is already leaving. Some beetles do not destroy our forests or grain. They embarrass evolution. In 1983, Australian researchers Daryl Gwynn and David Rentz noticed male jewel beetles mounting discarded beer bottles. The bottles are brown, glossy, dimpled, and large. To the male beetles, they look like perfect females made larger than nature allows. The males choose glass, they ignore living females. They cling to hot bottles under the sun, while ants begin cutting them apart. Evolution made the male precise. Human trash made precision fatal. That is the strange edge of beetle success. Every adaptation solves a problem in one world. Then the world changes. A gift becomes a trap, armor becomes a prison, speed becomes blindness. Desire becomes death on the side of a road. Still, beetles keep going. Somewhere inside dry timber, a golden jewel beetle larva can slow its development almost to a whisper. The wood gives poor nutrition, the larva keeps chewing, a family moves in, a child grows up. The television changes, the wallpaper changes, decades pass, then an adult beetle cuts its way out. Some records stretch toward 50 years, a life hidden in wood longer than many human careers. And this is why the number lands differently now. 400,000 known species. Not beetles, beetle species. 400,000 different negotiations with the planet. 400,000 ways to eat, hide, fight, mate, wait, run, swim, fly, dig, spray, glow, deceive, and endure. 1 out of every 4 named animals. 1 out of every 4. 1 out of every 4. The success of beetles does not look like a crown. It looks like a tunnel under bark, a larva in grain, a scarab under stars, a hard shell in the path of a tire, a blind hunter stopping for a fraction of a second so the world can become visible again. In British Columbia, hillsides of dead pines still hold the shape of a forest. The trunks remain. The branches remain. What changed first happened too small for a person to see from the road. A beetle entered, a fungus followed, a winter failed. Beetles did not become Earth's most successful animals by mastering one perfect form. They became successful by refusing to stay one thing for very long. Armored, soft, fast, still. Chemical, cosmic, patient, absurd. The animal kingdom did not get conquered by something large. It got filled, crack, by something small enough to fit almost anywhere. The mountain pine beetle helped kill millions of trees, and humans could not stop it. But there is another beetle humans have fought for 4,000 years. They tried fire, they tried poison, they tried sealing their food in stone rooms. It is still eating. Next video.